Vietnam is one of my favorite countries in the entire world. I love the food, the architecture, the nature, and the amazing vibes. And in recent years, the country has had a massive tourism boom they've never seen before. And theme parks in Vietnam have played a big part in this. You've probably seen this image of two giant stone hands coming out of a mountain holding a suspended bridge together. This is Sun World Ba Na Hills theme park. Or maybe these beautiful golden temples at Dai Nam Wonderland Park. Or perhaps Sui Chin Theme Park with the world's first Buddhist water park, which also has definitely the no way, shape, or form officially licensed massive Harry Potter horror haunted house. Easily the weirdest, most insane theme park thing to currently exist. But as breathtakingly beautiful and amazing Vietnam is, and as they continue to see a massive tourism boom in the entire country, the island of Phú Quốc, with its tropical beaches and elegant resorts, has seen the largest change in the tourism boom. It's also home to the largest and newest theme park in Vietnam, VinWonders Phú Quốc, said by many to be the Disneyland of Southeast Asia. There's a ton to unpack about this park and has a lot of things that can rival that of the Disney quality, but it's also one of the most interesting and strangest places on Earth for a currently operating theme park. Now, before we get too deep into VinWonders Phú Quốc, we actually need to talk about the island of Phú Quốc itself for some important context. Phú Quốc is an island in the Gulf of Thailand, much closer to Cambodia than Vietnam. It's a vacation paradise with tropical landscape and beaches around every corner. Not only is this a hotspot for jet skiing, parasailing, kayaking, snorkeling, and more, it's recently become a mega center for luxury beach resorts, golf courses, hotels, casinos, and anything to bring in international and local tourists. And most of this is very, very new. With billions of dollars being spent into building Vietnam's new vacation hotspot, it has made the island unrecognizable from a decade ago. What once was a remote tropical wonderland has turned into a multi-billion-dollar tourism resort overnight. And yet with all the big tourism development happening on the island, it does feel super empty on Phú Quốc at the moment. And VinWonders isn't even the only theme park on the island. Sun World, another company that owns multiple theme parks in Vietnam, is also on the island with their biggest attraction, the Hon Tom cable car, which travels over 7,899 meters through the sky and over the sea, holding the Guinness World Record as the world's longest three-wire cable car. Phú Quốc is developing like crazy, and while this rapid growth might be a lot, there still is a very good Vietnamese food scene here, plenty of natural beauty, and Southeast Asia's largest theme park. So the name VinWonders actually comes from the Vin Group, which is one of the largest companies in all of Asia and in Vietnam. They have multiple different businesses around the world, including VinFast, their electric car company. They own lots of real estate throughout Vietnam, and they own multiple VinWonders theme parks around the country too. Most of their theme parks always have some kind of mix of theme park, water park, animal encounter, and have some kind of European town theming with cool castles. But the biggest difference here is the scale and the scope of the park, and VinWonders Phú Quốc is easily the biggest they've ever done. Along with their Disney competitor-style theme park, they also have two different experiences on the island. VinPearl Safari, a nearby safari park with all kinds of different animals where you can feed the elephants and the giraffes, and GrandWorld Phú Quốc, a massive Venice-style shopping hub with apartments, restaurants, shows, museums like the Teddy Bear Museum, and a Teddy Bear Museum. With the boom of tourism happening in Vietnam, adding a state-of-the-art theme park on Phú Quốc Island made a lot of sense. And since the theme park opened in June 2020, let's look inside the park to see what it has to offer. Before you go through the gate, you're surrounded by a colorful fantasy village. This area seems like it will become a mixed-use space like downtown Disney or City Walk in the future, but it is quite large and spacious and honestly a little bit eerie since it's currently empty. But once you enter through the impressive castle facade, VinWonders is yours to explore. The park is spread out into 6 different themed lands. European Streetmosphere is the entrance plaza shopping area of the park. It has a glass ceiling above the entrance just like Tokyo Disneyland and every Universal Studios park in Asia. Most of the entrance area is retail locations, none of which are park specific, but almost as if it was Main Street USA at Disneyland with shops you had at the mall. This is also the area that brings us to the super detailed and very impressive castle, the Palace of Dreams. The Palace of Dreams is massive in scope, has amazing colors, and is one of the many things that elevates this park, making it the Disneyland of Vietnam. And while this is obviously trying to capture the same kind of magic of the Disney castles around the world, it doesn't feel so much like a carbon copy, but almost like an homage. Plus, inside the castle is the interactive fantasy 3D shooter dark ride, the Dragon Spell. Up next, there's Typhoon World, the park's water park section, with some really colorful and crazy slides, including Serpent's Venom, where you slide on a giant cobra. Fantasy World has lots of attractions, including a drop tower, slides, multiple flat rides, walkthrough experiences, and a 360-degree motion simulator called Aladdin's Grand Palace Tour. Mysterious Viking Village is the park's Viking-themed rapids ride area with a high ropes course. And Adventure World, the biggest land, which has the giant Ferris wheel in the back of the park, another drop tower, and the big e-ticket style attractions like the Amazon Volcano Flume Ride, the Eagle Warrior Indoor Suspended Coaster, and the Wrath of Zeus, the big, intense coaster with some crazy airtime. Right away, you can tell that VinWonders Phú Quốc spent a lot of money into the place and they wanted to make a park with lots of high quality theming. And you can especially see this in the queues, especially for rides like the Aladdin Simulator and the Eagle Warrior Indoor Coaster. They have some very high level production design and theming inside. But the big winner for me is the Dragon Spell queue, being like the ruins of a decaying castle from a dragon nearby. There's a ton of variety to a lot of the attractions here at VinWonders Phú Quốc, and yet we still haven't talked about the main attraction for this entire park. At the back of VinWonders Phú Quốc stands a massive 15,000 square meter, 3-story aquarium shaped like a sea turtle. The official name of this area of the park is called the Sea Shell. But for some reason I can't remember that, so today I'm going to be referring to this as the Big Turtle. It has over 255,000 sea creatures inside, intricate pathways with multiple stories, very cool City of Atlantis rockwork and theming, multiple interactive spots, a crazy mermaid show with live swimmers, a restaurant looking over the aquarium. When they announced this park in the first place, I can remember seeing concept art for the Big Turtle and seeing construction views and drones of it from afar. And it's truly one of the coolest looking buildings I've ever seen, theme park or not. Looking at reviews online from guests, this is easily the most popular part of the entire park and the big highlight overall. And while the theming and the set design is done high quality throughout the entire park, you can tell that the Big Turtle is the key attraction to getting everyone in. Now, this park is by no means perfect. A lot of the theming is a little bit inconsistent in between the lands. In the Adventure World area, you can go from Mayan to Greek very fast, and in the Fantasy World section, you can go from cowboys to Aladdin in like 5 seconds. Plus, a lot of the high quality theming is done a lot more on the queues than the rides themselves. And while I love the Palace of Dreams and the queue for the Dragon Spell attraction, it does look like that's the highlight overall instead of the ride. But when setting out to create the Disneyland of Vietnam, the scale and the design for these sets, buildings, and theming go way farther than most Disney competitors. I wouldn't go in here expecting something like Tokyo Disney Sea, but the variety of the attractions that they have, from roller coasters to water rides to family rides to walkthrough attractions to a full aquarium, even a fantastic nighttime projection show on the Palace of Dreams with a fountain show along with it, is super high quality, and you can see the Disney inspiration everywhere. This theme park is totally worth it for families already visiting the island of Phú Quốc. Now, a key thing I've noticed from all the different reviews, photos, videos, and blogs I've seen about VinWonders Phú Quốc is how empty the place feels. Most people have been able to go on every single attraction with minimal lines and almost no crowd at all, almost like having the entire park to themselves. But this isn't exactly a problem happening only with VinWonders Phú Quốc, the theme park, but it's actually happening to the entire island of Phú Quốc itself. People have been posting saying they've had entire hotels or resorts all to themselves. And while there are busier sections of the entire island like Sunset Town and more vibrant nighttime offerings like this cool bridge and lots of jetpack water shows everywhere, the development on the island definitely outweighs the demand for tourism. Phú Quốc has multiple ghost town sections with huge luxury resorts left completely abandoned with only a handful of people nearby. I personally saw this myself when I was going through the north of Vietnam. While historical and cultural cities like Hanoi were booming with tourists, newly built resort towns like in Ha Long were eerily vacant. It's kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's like, hooray, I have the entire resort to myself. And on the other, it's like, oh no, I have the entire resort to myself. Most of the tourism development push started right before COVID. So most of the chatter from resort owners and companies is, oh, just you wait, this place is gonna be booming with people in the next 5 years. So it's really a gamble to see whether or not the guests are going to choose to vacation on the island of Phú Quốc or not. So zooming out and looking at this entire place from afar, it's a Disney-style theme park on a mostly abandoned jungle island with a teddy bear museum on it. Now, we talk a lot on this show about unique offerings you can't get anywhere else, but there truly is no other theme park located anywhere else in the world like VinWonders Phú Quốc. I believe if we copy and pasted this park maybe to a closer city in Vietnam, or even if you put it in the United States, people would be making trips just to visit. Location is such an important piece of the theme park experience, and looking online, it seems like lots of families are making the trip to the island just to go to VinWonders Phú Quốc. So my hope is that the island of Phú Quốc can bring in more international tourists soon who are looking for a theme park experience for the whole family. I don't have a ton of pitches for experiences or new rides that they could put at the park. They definitely need another big, fun style coaster that could be lots of extreme airtime like Wrath of Zeus. Plus, the other VinWonders theme parks around Vietnam also have slow-moving boat dark rides with animatronics, flying theaters like Soarin'. Some style ride like this could definitely help elevate this park to a more Disney-style experience. Too many things about this park like the Wrath of Zeus coaster, the Big Turtle, and the Palace of Dreams are just too cool and too well made to have such a small audience. So maybe we'll have to check in the next 5 years to see if the gamble to bring in more guests to the island of Phú Quốc really pays off. Also, one more note about this teddy bear museum on the island. I looked online and this is the description for the museum. Inspired by the Indiana Jones movie, with more than 20 zones to observe giant or cute bears from all continents since ancient times. I'm not sure if this description is legit or if this is AI trying to break my brain, but either way, Teddy Bear Museum, you amaze me. So, what about you? Have you been to VinWonders Phú Quốc? And what do you think they can do to bring in more international tourists to visit this theme park? Comment down below and let me know what you think about VinWonders Phú Quốc. And remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more thoughts on theme park design.